No, you just put up to the bar, but we close.
Come on, man. You gotta be able to give me a shot, man. Come on.
You look like you need a drink, man, but I hate to tell you this, man. We about to close.
So you need to tell me all these people out here, they got drinks and they got shots, but I can't get nothing. The bar closed that soon?
Okay, man. I don't know what else to say. I got this shorty half my age at the crib, and I'm trying to get to it. But last call was 10 minutes ago.
You know what? It's alright. Don't even worry about it.
All right. Tell you what. I'm gonna get you one drink, cause it look like you need
one drink. I can do one drink. I can do one drink, cause I really, yeah.
Hey man, anything, man. Look like you got a lot on your mind and you need a friend right now. Pour it on me. Ain't no last calls here.
Bar Talk with Jay.
Welcome to Bar Talk with Jay.
Welcome.
One of the things I want to tell you we're sponsored by is Minecraft. And guess who's the CEO of this wonderful thing? Craftmatic. Tell them about your show.
All right. So Minecraft is an opportunity really to discover yourself, right? We have very few resources to discover ourselves and to get laser focused in life.
Right.
And so we've created an approach to help build mindsets. Mindset, everything that is happening in your life was created through a mindset. Our thoughts create our reality. And so if your mindset created anything in your life and there's something undesirable there, you have the ability to change your mind, which is first cause, change your mind, and then you can change that reality, right?
Okay.
Something as simple as you have a disagreement with somebody,
I have that all the time.
right? And in our minds sometimes perpetuate those disagreements. They don't like me and they don't understand me and they're not going to listen to me. But if you pour in negative thoughts, you're going to continue to get negative energy out of that. So now you got to turn around and say, you know what? Somehow or another, we're going to be able to find a way to communicate. We're going to be able to find a way to open this up. And you know what? They're not a bad person. They just have a different opinion. And I'm not going to judge them because they have a different opinion. Right. Now I'm pouring positivity in. When I see that person, when I meet that person, when I greet that person again, somehow their mindset will have changed. Right? So we are literally self-fulfilling prophecies. Our thoughts create our reality. And we've never studied it. We never talked about it. You know, nobody's ever really taught us how to manage our thoughts. Nobody's ever taught us how to manage our emotions. And so we find ourselves in a, cycle of life that we need to break. We can break those patterns. If you're a person that's always dealing with punctuality, you can break that pattern. It's through a mindset. If you're a person that's always broke, you can break that pattern and start practicing prosperity. If you're a person that's always been sad or have a bunch of fear, you can break those patterns through the power of your mind. You need confidence and you need confident thoughts flowing through your mind. But if you don't change the thinking, you'll never change the reality. You'll never change your life, right? We talk a little bit about happiness, and happiness is something you can choose right now. It's not waiting on the money. It's not waiting on the new spouse. It's not waiting on the new car or the new house. Happiness is about right now. And you need to learn how to practice happy thoughts. There is such a thing as practicing happy thoughts. So we're excited to just bring a new approach to life, a new philosophy, a philosophy that gives people access to more of their own personal desires, because when you entertain your own desires, you begin fulfilling and experiencing that reality. And so we're just grateful for the opportunity to share. And I got a lot more to share coming up. The new book is planned to be done by the 1st of June.
All right. Congratulations on that.
Thank you. And we're going to be bringing, a lot of the excerpts from the book into, kind of commercial time, maybe even into presentations here on the show. So continue to look forward to it. Let's go ahead and introduce ourselves, shall we?
Go ahead.
This is Bar Talk with Jay. My name is Craftmatic. This is my boy, Smooth Jay.
Good.
And we are here to liberate your minds and souls with a fabulous dialogue. we're just going to chop it up on the subject for about 30 minutes or so. And as we do, we know that the churning and the communicating of these ideas help people discover.
Yes.
It's almost like we're basking in wisdom so that the wisdom can begin saturating our minds and our spirits. And in doing so, you're going to find some times during this discussion where you can grow. You can make a decision about how you're going to handle something or what you're going to do differently, or how you're going to, just take the reins by the bull by the horn and just go and do this thing. When you make the decision right now while you're watching us, that decision will be firm in you when it's time to get something done. And so we like this to be somewhat therapeutic.
Yes.
And of course, we always start the show off with a prayer.
Oh, yes.
And let me just share the topic for tonight. How would your life change with wealth? How would your life change with wealth?
I got some jokes about that.
Let's give this over to the Lord. Heavenly Father, we just want to thank you right now for all that you are. You are our strength. You are our way maker. You are our life. You are our prosperity and peace. And we just thank you, Lord, for all of that, for your grace and for your mercy. And we ask, Lord, that you would be here with us in this show, Lord, and inspire us on the topic. How would life change with wealth? How would our lives change with wealth? Lord, show us, how should our lives change if we were to increase in wealth? What would you change about us? How would our life change if we began to experience more prosperity? Are we ready for more prosperity in our lives? Would more prosperity hurt us or help us? Would more prosperity be a good thing or a bad thing in our lives? We're asking, Lord, that you would inspire us with your infinite wisdom and intelligence on this subject. Guide us, direct us, give us insight and understanding that we've never had before. We ask that you would be with us, speak through us, and allow your good works to be done. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Ooh, yes.
Amen.
Yes.
So the question becomes, how would your life change with wealth? How would you start the subject off, Jay?
I'm going to start off with a joke. I heard a comedian say something of this nature. He's like, yo, I can tell by some of y'all in the room, because of your money issues, the person you chose was this the best you could do. So the minute you get some money, she got a pink trip. Now, that was just a joke of the joke.
That's
to
good.
Start this off.
That's
right?
good. That happens a lot, though.
Yes.
Right.
So let's see what this wealth thing. A lot of times I like to say, why wasn't I so successful at a lot of different things at a time that I felt like I had a good ingredients and I felt like it should have baked into a great success. Right. And God allowed me to flop that cake. That cake did not make it at all. And then it made me go back to the drawing board.
Right.
And I got some disappointment out of it. Don't get me wrong.
Sure.
So then I had to come back and then I had to start another venture. I could have kept with that same one, but I wanted to try another one because I figured that one didn't work. And then I believe in that 409. You got to keep trying different formulas to make a successful one.
Right.
So I took a little from this one. I started another one, and then I started another one. So I gravitated up the ladder of trying to get things on my own businesses to grow. In that, there's a lot of times where I didn't follow some processes or I created my own. Okay. And there's a lot of things that's already there, but a lot of times when you don't read up, and there's a lot of brick walls you hit trying to do it just your way. There's a lot of stuff that's already kind of written, and you kind of need to know it because you can enter a lot of places in the dark, not necessarily. You don't have to be in the dark. You can be in the knowing. And when you're in that dark, people see that and they capitalize on you because you didn't do your footwork.
Right.
Like a business plan. You ain't really got one. So now somebody want to get over and you already see you ain't really did all the right steps. So then they'll come in and give you some high interest rate to get your stuff off the ground where they know that they shouldn't even be doing that. They do it because of the fact you ain't got all your stuff in a row and they capitalize on you.
Right.
Because it's capitalization out here, period.
Absolutely.
Ain't nobody trying to do nothing just for you. You be like, why ain't nobody helping you? Because they can make more money telling you what to do because they know half the time you ain't going to do it.
Right.
Self-help books makes people millions. That person that came out with it. But you fail at it because you don't do the process.
You ain't read the book.
You bought it, though.
Yeah.
It's sitting on the shelf.
Right.
And
Right.
this is what's going to happen in business all the time because people feel like I want to do a business because I don't want to work for nobody. Well, you better be good at a worker because you're going to be working your behind off to make this happen. That's why a lot of great writers write because they feel it and it's a talent and they work their talent. That's how they make their money. No, people chase money. And that right there is not going to build you up. You're chasing it. It's hard to gain it when you're chasing it. You got to find a process to make it.
Right.
And then when you do that, then you capitalize on doing more of that.
Right.
But what I notice is more people chase the money than understand the dreams of you being successful with processing your thoughts into reality.
Right.
People pay for that and they pay dearly.
Absolutely.
But a lot of people want to run to it because they didn't see that whole process. They seen the quickness. When they're in school, I got to be a football player, a basketball player because of the amount of money they make. You understand? It's hard to make it in the NBA and NFL.
Yeah.
And you got to work your butt off. But remember, they buying the shoes.
Yeah.
They go around with the Jordans and the rest. You got Jordans on $300-400. Your ass can't play basketball. You did showboat.
Right.
You know, a lot of people do this. You know, I've done this. I bought jerseys, football, NFL jerseys of different people that I really admire, and I thought they were doing a great job. Nothing wrong with that. You support whatever team, nothing wrong with it. But I never put that jersey on, thought I could play some dang on football. I've never put that on, went to work, thinking I could tackle everybody and I can do something other than my regular abilities. But people feel slighted and feel like this is the way. This is what you got to do. Please understand, you're in a fairy tale land because when it comes to making money, he made more when you bought the jersey. He's making you spend capital. That's how he becomes wealthy. I'm not mad at the process, but I'm mad at somebody that looks at something and they'll pay a lot of money for it, knowing the value of it is not that steep. But you got to go around with a name on your behind that you really can't afford, but you got to have that image, thinking that makes you look wealthy. It might make you look wealthy, but the wealthy don't even do that because it's a different mindset. Theirs is to get you to spend your money on something that they capitalize on, not just what you see, is what you believe. You believe that's going to do something for you. That's going to automatically bring you to a boardroom meeting because I'm going around with a name on me. I'm not going to even mention none of the names. You put the names in there yourself. I promise you, I had never seen none of that get you into a boardroom meeting, but great ideas do. Your ability to accomplish things will, but
Yes.
people don't see that. They see wealth.
They see wealth, and they don't really see wealth, right? You know, statistics would show us that if you hit the lottery, the average person who hits the lottery in about a year to 2 years are broke.
Correct.
And you have to ask yourself, what's going on there? You know, their life became wealthy, and then they misused the wealth, and it became such a burden that they went into debt. Now you coming from, you know, a regular, you know, $20 an hour paying job and that lifestyle to now you done quit your job and got millions, and 2 to 3 years later you're dead broke,
Back at a job.
and you ain't got no job and you got more debt, right? How would your life change with wealth? And I want to ask you a few questions here
Okay.
that will kind of help us, you know, dial into this subject a little bit.
Okay.
So if you got more wealth, would your focus increase or decrease?
My focus would probably increase on the things that I already envisioned because a lot of times when you don't have money, it doesn't stop you from dreaming and it doesn't stop you from trying to achieve.
Right.
Okay. So now that I have money, now it's a little different for me now. So now I'm using the money as more of a leverage. So a lot of times, and I love what you just said. Let's just say I hit for $1 million, and $1 million ain't even a lot in this world right now. But you get this hit for $1 million. I'm already trying to find ways that I can put that somewhere where it can compound and makes money. Okay, not just buying a house. See, that's our problem. We always want to go buy. It is a make money. Okay, this is how the rich get done. They don't just go out and buy the flat screens, the Louis Vuitton. No. Elon Musk and everybody, they invest more in their own business. Okay. And then they put it places where they can make more money off of things. All right. Return on assets, ROI. So if you start looking at some of the things that I want you to make money in, I want you to also look at things that I can do to make even more money. All right. And it's not buying.
And here's the thing.
What's that?
That the person who wins the lottery does not have that mindset.
True.
They're not thinking that money needs to make money. All they're doing is consuming the money. And next thing you know, they're in trouble, right?
Mm-hmm.
And here's a kind of an important fact in this equation, that just because you get money doesn't change how you see money. Right? Because the reality that that wealthy people always keep saying to us, that we keep hearing for years, more money, more problems.
Mm-hmm.
And so I may have a lifestyle that allows me 20 hours a week to lounge.
Mm-hmm.
But if I got $1 million, I'm gonna have to take that 20 hours a week and figure out how to keep it and how to multiply it. And many of those young and new millionaires are not taking that time.
Right.
They're not even asking those questions.
No.
Right. Here's a question for you.
What you got?
If you got wealthy tomorrow, would you become flamboyant, or would you stay laid back?
I would probably at this point be more laid back. And one of the reasons is because people come for you. If anybody get knowledge of that you have wealth, they tend to bring their problems to you because you are a solution to something that they're not really trying to solve. But they're trying to solve without working.
They want to solve it with a quick way, yeah.
Because we boys, we can do this, and boys shouldn't. And I really say, I'll kind of question somebody that know I came into wealth, and then they come for me because you know me as a person, that I work for mine and how I built it up. And then all of a sudden this wealth supposed to make me change and then not look at the same. Right. If I wanted to do something, I'm going to do it. All right. And if I want to take a little bit of it and give it to some people because I knew they supported me and it was there, that's my right. Okay. But I'm going to make sure I don't do too much of that because I'm already got a vision that that's not the greatest way to do money. Right. But to help somebody, it's going to be up to me. But I would rather not have somebody force that on me because of all your badass decisions. Right. Because that's what I'm getting now. And I'm not even rich. I'm not of that caliber, but I worked hard enough where people feel like I can come to you because you do good. Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. Yes, I have.
And listen, that's a very important point. How would your life change? Immediately from the very moment you become wealthy, that there's going to be a lot of people coming for you. Mm-hmm. There's going to be a lot of people trying to take, and so you can't be weak. You can't, you have to say no. Mm-hmm. You have to protect yourself. You have to stand in the gap and say, that doesn't sound good. Let me get a second opinion.
Thank you. Right?
You cannot afford to let 1 cent of your money go to nonsense and sometimes go to lessons, right? You cannot allow that to happen. I even put here, do you think you'll need to re-question who your friends are when you get wealthy?
Sure.
Absolutely, right? Because there's going to be takers. There's takers in the world. This world is filled with people who will take from you. They don't have anything to give, but they will take, and they might find a way to proactively try to take, get over on you, bamboozle you, etc. So yeah, you absolutely will have to question your friends, right? Jay brought up a scenario early in the conversation, and he said I thought he was going one direction, but he went another direction. So I'm going to try to tackle the direction I thought he was going to go in. Okay. And he said, I had all the resources. I had everything in place to be successful. There was everything I needed to make something happen. It should have been fruitful. Mm-hmm. Why was it not fruitful? And part of the reason it wasn't fruitful is because God didn't allow it to be fruitful.
Correct.
In other words, we're not ready for the wealth. Mm-hmm. There are some people, if you gave them $10,000, $10,000 can come in a sleeve, right? Right. I think it's $100 bills, right? Mm-hmm. If I gave you 50 $100 bills, right? Or 20, would it be 50? It'll be 100 $100 bills, right? 100 $100 bills, $10,000. What would your life look like over the next 90 days? What would your life look like over the next 30 days? And we know a lot of people whose lives would be destroyed if you gave them that much money. They would not go to work. They would probably get high all day. They wouldn't be looking for no opportunities. They would probably start gaining weight like crazy. They would definitely be taking trips, spending money like crazy. They're probably gonna be taking some friends with them and their mama, their entourage. You know, like one of the old MC Hammer entourages. You know what I'm saying?
That took him down.
Yeah, MC Hammer had 100 people on his payroll, and he was taking them from city to city to city to city, and ultimately it destroyed him. But the point I'm making here is that would wealth make your life better, or would wealth take some life from you?
I'm gonna tell you, and I'm glad you brought it up that way. One of the reasons why I really do feel that way is I would have gave a lot of it away. I didn't have the mindset of wealth at that time.
Yes.
I just felt like, oh, I'm gonna make sure this person's taken care of and that person, because I didn't have it. And I know some other people that rolled with me didn't have it either.
And when we forget to count that stuff,
exactly,
a lot of it.
I would like to tell you, once you get some wealth, it might be wise for you to get an accountant.
You definitely need an
person
accountant
that you can trust. And guess what? A lot of times you work with these kind of people and you build a relationship with them. So now you got a base of picking someone,
right,
compared to just going through your phone and finding an accountant that don't know you and has an easy chance of manipulating you, because that's what they tend to do. Show up as a friend, tell you good things and do things, and then they moving things into other accounts. Because again, they feel like you ain't on top of your stuff. My whole thing is find somebody who's trustworthy, and that takes a little bit of time, but normally somebody you deal with. I've been in business for a long time, so I know a couple people. I know off the top of my head a woman named Missy. Worked with her for a long time. She do her own little account to the side, but she's a person that has great reputation. It's like a person, a roof. Not looking at her as in a marriage type of a woman, but a woman that's well recognized and respected. I would go to her, and I would give her some outlines of what I want and get her ideas, feedback, for we can grow and make sure this money makes what it needs to make. Now, I didn't have that when I first started off. So when I started off, there's been got a little bit of money. We doing different things. We paying off a lot of bills, credit the sky high, bought cars. We did things, me and my wife at that time, man, we lived quite nicely, and again, we didn't plan for a lot of stuff. And we use a lot of our own.
And wealth takes planning.
Man, and we didn't do a great job of that. And I'll take ownership by me being the man.
Yeah.
And again, in that's how you get better. That's why God was like, yo, we're going to let this fail, because you're not being that strong.
God said, I'm going to make you fail. And I think sometimes what happens is we sometimes get the money and thinks that it's us.
Oh my goodness, I forgot giving praise. I promise you.
When we get the money, it's not our money. Even though we might be the ones responsible for it, we got to know that it's God's money. And we can't start doing ungodly things with God's money.
Woo, we're going to mention that part.
You'll find yourself in some major trouble.
Yes.
Because the Lord is not going to allow you to utilize his resource in the wrong way. Right? There's a certain righteousness that comes with the gifts from God. There's a certain level of commitment and a certain level of responsibility that you have. And we talk about people who get $10,000 or $100,000 and it ruins their life. That's because they go partying every night. They want to travel all the time. They're buying this and buying that. They're not even thinking about their health. They're drinking all the time. They're eating fattening foods. They're not taking their vitamins. They're not working out. They just partying, traveling, balling out of control, right? The Lord said, I'm not going to let you kill yourself. And then the other side of it is they stop working. They stop trying. When you get money, you're supposed to try more.
Come on.
Right? You're supposed to dig in and I consider myself a workaholic, and I haven't answered this question in my own personal views as of yet. But how would my life change with wealth? It wouldn't be a lot of change there, Jay.
That's a great thing.
I might go and get a nicer home.
Okay.
And I might go and get a nicer car.
Okay.
But my everyday my work days, I'm going to be a full work day. I'm going hard in the paint, because if I had $1 million or $100 million to put behind Minecraft, I could not only go make my dreams come true, but I could make millions of other people's dreams come true. And I would get so laser focused on making those dreams come true. It's not even funny, right? Just kind of a side note here, that I think one of the things that happen with people who have worldly options, which are wealth, they forget about God. And God's not going to set you up to forget about him. He wants his glory.
Correct.
All day, every day. You can't forget about God. Would you stop praying? Would you stop studying the word? Would you stop giving God the credit for all the things? Would you stop being grateful? If you just had unlimited resources of money to live on, would you stop being a grateful person? You know, would you stop caring about people who don't have the kind of money you have? You know, there are a lot of wealthy people, they get attitudes like they get their nose up in the air, they get snooty, and they, you know, they act like they can look down on the world, like, you know, they don't need nobody. They don't call their family no more. They don't, you know, they don't try to, you know, be a great father. And, you know, they think their money is ruling their world. And God is not going to allow that to happen, right? The other thing that God is not going to allow you to do is he's not going to allow you to stifle your gifts. He gave you a gift to do something special with. And just because you get $1 million, you go and do something totally different. He doesn't want that. He wants you to utilize those gifts. If he gave you $1 million and you own a daycare and he gave you $1 million, he wants you to serve more children. Right? He wants you to go and do something with the state laws and rules and invest in a politician who's going to make it easier for moms with children. Right? You know, we can never find a place in life where we become lax. There's nothing in life that will allow us to be lax. Life is meant to be intense and full of productivity. And if you get money and you stop being productive, that is a slap in God's face.
And let me tell you, when some of these businesses failed that I started, if they wouldn't have failed, I wouldn't be doing this now. There's a lot of things that happens to mold you better. So when the real activities come, that's going to glorify him and you in a way that you give it back, and you give it back on the show every prayer.
Yes.
It's a prayer every show.
Yes.
There's things that I do now that I didn't do when I was doing my own business.
Yes.
That I had to change. And that's what it's all about, is finding the best you and coming out with it compared to what you think. Right. And I was thinking, and I still had God by me, but again, I didn't ask him for everything. Right. But now I'm turning to him more on resources and things to do. So now I'm starting to see wealth in a different way. And what I love about it, let's just say $1 million. It's a $10 million check in my pocket. It's $9 million short. It automatically let me know I have more goals.
I got more work to do.
So I can't get happy like anybody else.
That's right.
Because I wrote something.
That's right.
I wrote it when I didn't have it. And I've been achieving things along the way. So when that $1 million comes, I got 9 more I have to achieve for one goal to be met. Because once that get met, I'm writing a bigger one.
Absolutely.
I'm just starting off in a way that's achievable. But again, I have to believe in it.
Right. And
how you know you believe in it is when you write it. See, a lot of people just pray over it and they just let it go, and it's like out there. A lot of time you got to envision it. You got to write it out. When you don't really know how it's going to happen, not saying you don't believe, don't know how. Listen to the words. Knowing I'm writing it, signing it for it to happen. Now I have to put work in. So when it's folded up in my wallet and I'm out here and I can do things, buying all this extra stuff, right. I already know I got to write myself this check. Because I wrote this out my business account, not my personal. I said my business is going to write me a $10 million reward. So that means I got to look at my business. I got to stop looking at my personal. I got to start focusing on how I'm going to achieve this. And that's what it helps you, is because you like to give this away and do this for are you achieving your goal?
Yeah.
And again,
That's
it's
right.
the business goal, and it's a mindset that I love to have and been continue to have, and I like for somebody else to have.
Absolutely. We have all gotten a certain mindset about what money looks like. We all have in our mind what money looks like, but I am going to encourage you to read. There's a book called The Millionaire's Mind.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of the most incredible books I've ever read
Mm-hmm.
because it broke all of the paradigms about what I thought money looked like.
Mm-hmm.
Wealthy people do not go out and buy a bunch of stuff. They're not. That's not how they operate.
All right.
Like they don't overpay for clothes. They don't overpay. Now you're always going to have some people who are doing extravagant things. You know, they're buying $3,000 blouses and $8,000, pumps. You know what I'm saying? Like you're always going to have those. But wealthy people are penny pinchers.
Mm-hmm.
Wealthy people do not just spend money. They count every penny. In fact, to some degree, they're cheap.
Okay.
To some degree, they're so mindful of their money, they want every dollar to go as far as humanly possible. And sometimes they'll be sitting on millions of dollars and won't even help their own family because they're always thinking about, number one, how to keep it.
Right.
But their mindset is let's not just have the wealth, let's manage it, and let's make sure that we get the most out of it. Let's make sure we stay rich, right? Let's focus on being rich forever. And what you have to do to be rich forever, you have to make sure your money is making money, right? As we close this show, we just got about 5 minutes here.
Let me play with you real quick about this. Because they said a recession might be looming. Do you know the rich is pulling their money out of certain things to hold it for if it happens, they automatically know things will drop down and they can get more for their money.
Yes.
So this is the mindset of the rich compared to the poor. So the poor is like, we ain't gonna have this or that, or all this is gonna be really bad for us. You got to prepare your mind in a better way. Yes. I mean, we've been through recessions before. I ain't saying we were recession proof. I'm saying you have to align yourself to realize, okay, I might need to hold off some of my spending, hold on to some capital, because again, there might be great opportunities. You can't just look at the bad and not look at some of the good.
And not only might there be great opportunities, there might be great recessions. There may be scarcity going on in the world where you have to survive for 6, 8, 10 years and make no money, right? With the exception of how your money can make money, right? So yeah, we absolutely have to be the process of being wealthy is about planning and preparing and visualizing a strong future, how you can take what you currently have and make more. And I think Jay was right on track with me as we close out this show. When you become wealthy, I'm not even going to say if.
That's right. Say it again.
For those of you who aspire to be wealthy, when you become wealthy, there are certain things that must be done in order to protect your wealth. I would say the first thing you need is a lawyer. If you win the lottery, before you go pick up your lottery ticket, go get your lawyer and take your lawyer with you to the turn your ticket in and get your money. Right. And I wanted to pose this question. Would you take 10 million a year for 10 years, or would you take 65 million?
I'm taking the 65 million.
Okay.
I'm taking a lump sum up front. Okay. Somebody be like, man, they tax it to death and they do all this. But anything can happen in these years that I would not get it. You cannot pass that on. Even if you marry, your wife will not get it. Just the person assigned the ticket. So again, so a lot of people do that because they can't manage money.
Right.
I can take the lump sum and I can get a lawyer and I can also get an accountant.
And I can make that money grow.
And it will be left in my family.
Watch this. I'm going to take 65 million on day one. But if I hold out, I'll have 100 million in 10 years. Right?
As they say.
Right. I have right. So now that it would be better for me to take 65 million and invest. I will surpass 100 million in less than 10 years.
Yes.
Way less than 10, almost half the amount of time, right? So for those people who say, well, I just hold, listen, all they're going to do is take your millions that they're holding for you and they're going to make interest off of it.
Yep.
So they're going to be getting rich off of the millions
Money.
that they don't pay you, right? Oh man, there's so many places I want to go. But let me just cover this real quick.
What you got?
Not only do you want to get a lawyer, but there are many things that you can do to protect and serve that wealth. You want to put your money in a trust. You want to
Yes.
find a way to invest in a business that's already making money.
Mm-hmm.
Buy a book of business. Buy a company that's already got 10,000 customers. Buy a service that people are already buying from. You don't, as I was saying in The Millionaire's Mind, you don't want to go out and buy, a $5 million house or a $20 million house. You don't want to go out and do that. You want to keep your lifestyle pretty much the same so that you maintain the integrity of your options. If you mess around and go get a $5 million house and then you lose all your money, you're going to lose the house too because you can't pay the taxes on it. Right? And you haven't put money in a trust that the money in the trust or the money in the investment is going to make the money to pay the house off in the next 30 years. Right? That's what you want to do. You want to set your money up that your money is going to propel and grow and increase. Don't set it up for it to be reducing your balance every single day.
No, what I also notice about a lot of rich people, Delta, each plane is an LLC.
Each plane.
So they're trying to limit any exposure to an accident.
Right.
Where you don't hit the hub of all of Delta, you hitting that plane. That plane is own business.
Right.
If you go to a carnival, and I learned this recently, a carnival and all them rides, every last one of them is LLC. The reason why is the person that owns the carnival knows if that ride fails and somebody get injured, that ride is the only thing you can sue.
Right.
You ain't gonna be able to sue my whole organization
Right.
because they're doing it to limit liability. That's what the LLC is, limited liability. And this is something you're gonna have to learn because again, they're trying to keep their wealth. This is learning wealth from a different standpoint compared to what you know. So all you know is you own this, you own that. And if you don't set it up right, it only take one bad accident and they can take a lot of your wealth away. So again, it's being cognizant of what you're trying to do.
Yes, and as we close here, one of the things that's coming to my mind to say is that the question is, how would your life change with wealth?
Mm-hmm.
To some degree, I would say your life should not speed up as you increase your wealth.
Mm-hmm.
Your life should slow down.
Mm-hmm.
You should be able to find a little more peace. And you should be able to sit down and make a deeper plan.
Mm-hmm.
You should be able to put more thought process into your tasks and your goals and your objectives and your business and your family. You should be able to instead of making life speed up when you get more resources, find a way to slow your life down when you get more resources. And I think what you'll find is that you can truly begin to enjoy the prosperity that you have. If life speeds up, it's probably going to take life away from you, right?
Say that.
And I think that's a great way to close out this show. How would your life change with wealth? It's up to you.
Mm-hmm.
I hope that you're working toward wealthy living. I hope you're working toward an education. I hope you're working toward experience in business. I hope you're working toward dabbling into new businesses and new opportunities. I hope you're diversifying your income. I hope you're making sure that you have a strong resume and good options. I hope you're focused on investments, whether it be the stock market or the futures or Bitcoin. I hope you're thinking about money. The question is, if you're not thinking about money, when you get money, you're going to lose it. And that's the bottom line. You have to be always thinking about prosperity, and the mindset of a prosperous person will create more prosperity.
Can't say no more.
This has been Bar Talk with Jay.
Yes.
My name is Craftmatic. This is my boy Smooth Jay. And we want to thank you folks for being here with us today. This is just our opportunity again to be leaders in our own community.
Yes.
Jay's vision was the fact that if you go to a bar, and by the time you get halfway down your first drink, you open up and you start talking and you start expressing yourself. And sometimes that's therapeutic and necessary, right? And so, we hope this has been therapeutic. We hope you found some good, inspiring ideas that came from this show. We're here every Thursday from 7 to 8, Facebook Live. Please like, share, subscribe, tell all your friends and family. And of course, please come back and enjoy some of this great wisdom that we got. And never forget, folks, the reason we do this is because we love you and we appreciate you. And with that, we are out.
Ain't no last calls here.
Bar Talk.